On April the 11th, 2012, NASA confirmed the existence of binary star 135917. That star was identified not by an astronomer, but by a man from Vimieiro, Portugal, who was given the number in a vision at the sanctuary of Fatima. The man, my guest today, Antonio Alves. Let's welcome him to our show, and I'll turn it over to him.
Okay.
I'm John. Glad to meet you. Uh, I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody else and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name is Antonio Alves. I'm from Portugal. And 19, 1987 is my first time here in the United States. I was living in Connecticut State for a while until 1998 and go back to Portugal. And I come back to the United States. Now I live in Modesto, California, about 3 years ago. And I've been in this area, UFO area, since I have 11 years old when I see the first light in Portugal.
Okay. Now, in the information that you sent me, you've written a book that's
Yes,
called
yes, yes.
GCS, I believe,
Yeah,
and you want to,
God's civilization from the stars. I did that in 2010 in Portuguese and 2025 they come in English book.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your book?
Well, my book it's about this is this start, my book started when I was young, real young, and I started to write the book when I saw the first time that white light, and they changed everything in my life after I saw that light, and I started write the book about religions, ancient aliens, and of course archaeology, astronomy. And, the book it's about try prove the we have been visited from outer space all the time.
Let me ask you this. In your book, you were talking about some of your experiences with a UFO
Yes.
and where you went through a hypnotic regression, I guess, and that you realized you had been abducted. You want to tell us a little more about that, please?
Yeah. Okay. I can be run a little bit about everything happening in
Okay.
my life.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's go start for the beginner. They go be around. I was living in the small village, about 1,000 people, no more than that. And my parents, they still have a farm, and this happened 1977, 1978. I'm not sure about the year was, and one day I was talking with a friend of mine, and they say, okay, we go dinner. This is a winter time, and when done, we go to the club. I said, okay. What's happened is I'm finished eat, and and I just forget my house to his house. I must go between the olive trees where it's all dark, and suddenly I look at in the top of the about three four olive trees. I saw that big light, and I was looking at that and said, well, after I don't know seconds, minutes, I watched that light, that bright light, and it's funny because it was so bright, but you can see. We don't have not feeling about your eyes, doesn't nothing. You can see it, and that came in my mind. Let me call my friend for you. So that light too. While I run, I have 11, 12 years old. I run to his house, and when we come back there was that light we think it's the same light. There was not bright light, white light. It's orange, and they move up above all the olivers, and we keep looking at that, and no sounds, nothing, until rules appear and we don't see any more the light. And it's funny because when this thing happened, Portugal is a little back up because we have war until 1974. We have just one channel and government channel, and it's just 6 hours a day open. And we have any information. Matter of fact, we haven't does know the word UFO. After a while, my friend found in the newspaper something happened in Spain, and they said in Spanish, in Portuguese, ovni, it's UFO in Portuguese, and we give a we give a name for that like UFO too. What's happened is after that I start want write the book, and they come ideas I even doesn't know where that ideas come from, and I start pick up the I start for the Bible, take stuff from the Bible looks like a UFO, lights, angels, aliens, but I just do that. The most of the time I even doesn't know what I'm doing, and I have the some nights I have that vibration. I call vibration polarization. Is you can move. All your body doesn't move. You yell. Nobody don't have any sounds. And this thing happened normal. So normal. My mother got another bed next in the her bedroom. For I'm just running when I feel free. I just run into her bedroom and go sleeping the last of the night next to her and next to my father too. You know, and this is and I know all the time I have that sense that things happen that at night, and that things I want interest about the religion and all that kind of stuff, ancient civilizations. This is because that light, that happened. They changed totally. I remember I have on in the school they talk about pyramids who build the pyramids, and for me it doesn't make any sense anymore because that doesn't look like that way. And we must remember is I have 11, 12 years old, and I don't have any contacts outside about informations about TV, nothing. When a lot of things happen and I don't understand, when I come to United States, 1987, I met some people from the MUFO, and I go in the meetings, and this is the time I start learn, and I and listen other people talking about their experience. They have almost same mind, and this is where I start. Well, I'm not too nuts. Something happened real with me.
Well, one of the things that you had expressed to me was you had a couple of encounters with a man in black.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
You want to tell us about your
Yeah,
encounters with the men in black?
this must be happened between 1980 and 1981 because we have a small village and we have just a till 6 degree the school. After that, we got in the morning we have a bus pick up us for go to the city for do the high school, uh, and we have just class until 12:30, and we have just the bus go back again just 6:30, 7 o'clock p.m. What are we doing? What doing? We go ask right. They have a road. They go be from Lisbon to Spain, and we asked a right. One day I was with a friend of mine, and we asked. There was my turn, like kids, you want to go be next to the driver, and we did. Okay, we have 5 cars each one, and who got the right to go still next to the driver, another one go back. Things, we have 12, 30 years. So, well, there was my turn, and I asked a ride, and there come a black car, real nice black car, and, it stopped, and the windows, one of the things we never forget is the windows. You look, they open by themselves, because it's automatic windows. We talk about 80s in Portugal. Uh, and when I go look at inside for ask for where we want to go, they have a man. He dressed all black, black dress, real dark blue. I don't know. There was between that color, and they have it's a man around 75, 70, 73 years old, Uh, and he said, "Okay, come inside." Okay, I was I was next to the driver, and my friend sit down in the back, and he stopped. Okay, and when he started drive, the first question he did, which is real strange, he asked me what I think about Bermuda Triangle. I look at him real strange, you know. Usually they ask how the school going, blah blah, that kind of stuff for kid. No, that guy doesn't did that. The guy just said, what I think about the Bermuda Triangle. And after that, he even doesn't wait for my answer. What he start talk about, you know, the most of the time I even doesn't know what you talk about. You talk about DNA. I don't know what DNA. You talk about hybrids. You talk about the aliens in the past, pyramids, who building pyramids, all that stories. And you just keep talking, talking, talking. And another thing is, the most of the time the people just drop us on the road and we walking inside the village. This guy doesn't did that. He drive inside the village. He stop in the front of the house, my friend, drop him in the front. What is strange, how he knows where my friend living, and he go drive and he stop right the same place where I saw that light with my another friend, you know. And he told me, okay, don't forget, you must reading these three books. I just remember one. One is UFOs in Fatima. Fatima is a sanctuary we have in Portugal, a famous sanctuary we have in Portugal. I say, okay. And it just left. After a while, I was with another friend, asked for a ride, and there come a black car. I even doesn't remember anymore about that ride. I remember what they talking, but you know, it's a kid. I don't. The car stopped, opened the window. When I look down and see the driver, I remember that man, and he said, "Okay, come inside." And my another friend, they go sit down in the back, but that time there was another guy behind the driver. What is real strange, you know, because that thing is, you know, the city from city is a little far away. Why the guy doesn't go next to the driver, but he's right in the back the seat of the driver. Well, when I sit down, he asked me if I was reading the books, and I said, I don't know, I did a real bad excuse. I said, I've been studying a lot. I have no time for reading. uh, and okay, he started again. Start to talk about aliens, about UFOs, time. The time is just one. We have not past, future. We have just present. We have not time. We have parallel universe. And they start, you know, the real that time the most of the things I even doesn't know what you talk about. I just listen. And the guy talking, 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 talking. The another one doesn't say one word. He just talking, talking. They do this. He did the same. You go inside the village, drop. You know, this is interesting because it's another friend of mine, and the guy go drop in the front his door. The another one, he knows. We even doesn't tell them. They go drop me in the same spot he did before, and he said before he left, he said, "Okay, one day we go see again." And he just gone. I don't know if you see him or not. I don't know that. Well, the funny thing is, in the morning when I go wait for the bus before we go to the school, they come that my friend, and they said, "Look, you know, because I don't I just see a little bit another guy in the back because I'm sitting in the front, and it's hey, you know, the guy is real strange. The guy in the back. Look, I come inside the car. I say good afternoon. He even doesn't look at me. He keeps straight look. And they said, you know, and we start talking about that guy. And they said, this is a guy about around 25, 23 years old. You know, we are in the 80s, you know, and the guy he said, he have a haircut like a military. He said, he have a cool glasses, sunglasses. Uh, and it's have all black. He has all black the clothes. And he said, but the most strange thing is the face. He said the face is so white. It looks like he said it looks like wax. You know, it's so white. And if all that way, he doesn't look at me 1 second. He be straight. look in the front behind the driver, and he doesn't say one word. He doesn't say move. He said sometimes I was looked twice one the time because if this is a what a toy, it's a man. What is that? Because the guy doesn't move, you know. Uh, but this is what he said because I said I just see him when I come inside the car, you know. This is
Hmm.
the my friend described this guy, you know, and this is funny because I never think too much. I even does not the names Men in Black. Just when I come to here to MUFO, and there was this story, but the president of the APO, is the Association Portuguese UFO. When I told them that story, the guy come crazy and said, "This is Men in Black." I'd say, "Look, I don't know, it's a Men in Black or what is." But yeah, yeah. And it's one day he called me and said, "You want to go in the talk show on TV?" I said, "Okay." Well, we go in the talk show, and was me and two more guys, and I was the first. The host asked me, "Just tell some story," and I tell the story about my friend with that bright light, and and the guy was sit down and say, "Look, look, look, ask him about that Man in Blacks." I said, "Oh no, that story again, you know, with the Men in Blacks." And I must have tell the story on the talk show because I don't know if there was Men in Blacks or not, but there was real strange, special the questions and the rules, you know. We thought 98 in Portugal, you know, with one channel. This is not the kind of things we listening on TV, you know.
You met him a total of two times then, and you were kind of anticipating that if he keeps his promise, he'll meet you again, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if you that man, if I saw him again, I know he's dead. But after all this, if he's around 73, 75, after all this 20 years, it will be almost 100, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been working on this book for close to 50 years.
Yeah, I was with the kid. I started with that like 1977,
Yeah.
1977, you know, and a lot of things start, and a lot of things happen with me. You know, I was in Portugal in February. That things happen with me, you know, like feeling because one of the things I have too after so light, it's I was in home and I have that feeling I must go someplace,
Mm.
and in that time I have just the papers. It's not the book. I just take that paper and I
Mm.
go that place and I stay over there 20, 25 minutes forever. I'm just when I was there I have a feeling, okay, now it's time. You must going, just going. And I don't know what's up. I'm just walking and go. And this kind of thing they happen a lot of times in my life. It's like last February they happened that I take the car and I walk in some place, you know, and but the place is not. We see like oh where, it's like you know the Celtic we have that like cromlechs, you know, but it's small ones. We have a lot in Portugal and dolmens, you know, it's the stones and they have another stone at top. We have that. We have next to my house. I have three or four. That that is the place I'm walking and stay over there. And the most of the time, I tell you, 95% nothing happened. You know, like I think nothing happened. You know, but I have that feeling. I must. You know, the feeling is so strong. Sometimes I was in the bed already, and I just stand up, close, and walking or walk and take a car, take a bicycle, depend how far because it's not the same place every time, you know.
Well, these dolmens that you went to, they were something like Stonehenge. Is that correct?
Yeah, 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 but it's a small one. It's just Cromlex. The one F-33 stones, another one F-35, you know, and it was not it's about what about 5 miles, 3 miles from where I was living.
About an hour walk.
Yeah, it was not
Yeah.
far away, you know. But the
Let,
strange
let me
is,
ask you this, well, and to let my listeners know too, my understanding is that you started this book as a journal. You were journaling your adventures,
yeah,
and you felt motivated to learn things and to keep doing this journaling, and it eventually worked into this book. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
correct. That's
it,
correct. Because sometimes I wrote things in the book in that time. I
yeah,
even don't know what I talked about. I'm just, like hybrid. That man talked me about hybrid. I said, what? I just listen. I don't know what this hybrid is. DNA. I don't know what it is. I just write. Okay, DNA. Okay, but I even doesn't know sometimes. The most of the time, I don't know. That's like I said. When I come to United States, I start meeting with MUFO group. That's what
mhm,
say open my mind, and now I can start use. I have a missing time list twice because I know the words, the exact
yeah,
words. I remember in 2000, no, 19, I think it was 1978. I was at home with my father, and we have five dogs. My father, my parents, they have a farm, and they have a cows and horses, and they have five. I think there was five dogs that time, and we watch TV, one channel. We watch that, and we start our dogs and the dogs of the neighbors. There was a lot of noise, even the cows and the horses. And I tell my father, I go see, I go outside see what's happened, and my father just keep watching TV. And just when I step outside, everything come quiet. All the dogs, you don't listen anything, even dogs, cows, horse, everything is silent, absolute. And I call the dogs. And we talk here about the dogs. They defend the cows against the wolves. It's not any kind dogs. It's a real training dog. I call the dogs. The dogs doesn't even come. They disappear, the dogs. And that time I look up and I saw that big cylinder, orange cylinder, real big. And I believe they can be just me. So that thing, and that day, no noise at all. And I call my father. I said, okay, come on outside, come just see this. My father go outside, both we stay over there, look at that thing. And after a while, my father said, okay, I'm just go inside. I'm just go see, watch TV. And the thing stay over there, no noise. That looks like the time stop,
mhm,
no noise at all. And I look at that, my father go after a couple second minutes, I don't know. I'm just walk inside again, and that thing's still in the sky, you know. And I don't know, long time, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, I don't know. All the dogs, not just mine, but the neighbors, all this time making noise. The normal life go back again. And that moment, I tell my father, I'll go see what's happened now with the dogs. I'm walking again. My father keep watching TV. When I look at the sky, everything it's gone. Nothing in the sky anymore. Of course, with all these years now, what I gotta understand that thing, whatever it is, they stop the time because there was not just the dogs, the cows, the horses, even the chickens. We have no noise, nothing. We don't listen anything. And like I said, this is not any kind dog. This is a training dogs, you know. And that was really, really strange.
How many total encounters did you have with these craft?
The craft, a couple, because the first I know, like I said, at that time I don't use missing time. Just when I come here, uh, 14 March, 1986. I saw. Well, I was with the guys on the bike, like 20 years, 20 years old. And one of the guys said, "Okay, let's go." The story is the same. It's a small village. Okay, let's go on dinner, and we met in the club. The story is the same. The years passed. They're still the same, this time.
Mhm.
Uh, and say, okay, and we are so close the gate of the farm of my parents, and the guy said, "Look, it's 5 to 7. Okay, let's go dinner." And we met in the club after the dinner. I said, okay. I'm just go when I go inside of the gate in the gate of the farm, I look up and I saw it looks like a star. But I looked at thing and said, after all these years, see things, you start learn about about the sky, Venus, some constellations, and I said, I never saw that star over there. What I did with the bicycle, 20 years old, I drive the bike around the farm of my father, and I stop in the road. When I stop in the road, they go for another village. That star of that light was in my left side. It just disappeared and appeared the right side of the road. That light did four times. One, two, three, four. Like a dance, appears, 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 appears. After that, disappear. I don't see the light anymore. I look at the clock, there was 7:45. I think for myself, 7:45, That was so strange. Even I don't know nothing about missing time. I said, 7:45, something is wrong here. I'm go back to the gate of the farm and go back again with the bicycle. And they take me about 3, 4 minutes to get there, you know. And like I said, I just start listening about missing time when I come here because, and I know I'm missing that. I have not explained. I can explain what's going on in that time. Let's go talk a half hour, 35 minutes about that.
You had several encounters where you had missing time. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because one thing is this thing is not start with me. This run with my family. My grandmother ever encountered my aunt, my now my uncle, so whites too, and they come with my daughter too. Now it's with my daughter, and this happened. I want to just see here the date. The real thing happened to. Okay, 2000. They're gonna be around 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Uh, okay, I was living in the like they call capital of the state,
Hmm.
But it's about 29 kilometers from the farm from the my parents to my house, and normal. And I got divorced, and normal in the weekends I stay with my daughter and we go stay with my parents, because I have my niece and my nephew, they play. And that that night, I, we have a dinner. There was Sunday night dinner. After dinner, we play a little cards. And my sister said, "Okay, I'm leaving. I must work tomorrow." Blah blah blah. And it's okay. We're leaving too. Well, we leave when we go start for another road. There was another road. I look at the watch of the car, and there was 11 p.m. And I told for my daughter, oh, it's 11 p.m. And my daughter look at her cell phone and say, oh yeah, it's 11 p.m. This is the last things we remember. And that road, usually we must go past for a small village, and I next step we remember was about half mile from the city in the stop sign, and there was 11:12. Okay, and they passed 12 minutes, and and when we stopped, my daughter turned to me and said, what we be talking about? I don't remember we talking about anything. I said, I don't remember either. And my daughter asked me, I even just remember we passed Virginia. Virginia is the name of the village. Well, I even just remember, but because we must pass through, inside the village. I said, I don't remember either. And I start thinking, because when we go outside the village, we can see the lights of the city far away. And I even just remember that. And my daughter said, well, because you have a little ill, and sometimes we stop over there and talk about the school. And, that time my daughter have about 8, 9 years old. Uh, and I said, and my daughter asked me, well, we don't stop in that till tonight. And I know she started make a lot of questions, and I can one real say, something's happened in this travel we did. And I said, oh, okay, we just forget and the home, and we go watch something, and they stop. But the thing that was so really because the next weekend we must go someplace, and I'm that kind of guy. I'm a slow driver, And my daughter said, "Look, I hope we got the same thing happened that night. We got it real fast in the place,
Yeah.
that this if it was just me, sometimes we drive and think about another things, and uh, but no, there was two persons, and we look it's 11 p.m. both, and they can be wrong both clocks from the car and a cell phone. This is the second time I have real sure there was a missing time, That
Mm.
at this case, I even can understand if it's missing or not because we did all that faster than it's supposed to be. You even can call missing time for that because, if it was 11, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is called missing time. This is different. I come early than was supposed to be. We never.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I talk about that, I say I give a $10,000 anybody if you can make that road in 12 minutes. Because it's totally impossible. Because they have another thing. They have one thing real danger. We have a lot in that area, wild parks. You know, and they have a couple accidents already with the motorcycles, and we must be real careful with that in that area. And but that thing happened. This thing happened.
Well, in the information you sent me, there was a blip that was in there that piqued my interest, so I started doing some research on it. I did this because I've never heard of this incident. You talk about the Fatima sun miracle.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
How
If you
did that come to how what does that play in your book? Or
uh,
what
if you don't mind, I want to take this for the last because they take a little while because it's this is the last thing I will make and I have a little problem with the government about that, because Fatima,
Okay.
I want to just give you an example. I was the Air Force, Portuguese Air Force.
Mhm.
They make a meeting with the UFO people, and there was an open door, anybody can go, but special the UFO people. And I was go over there. So, that president of the association called me and said, "Hey, everyone go in Lisbon, blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, I go." And I just listen to the guy. The guys deny everything, everything. Even one pilot was retired in the army in the Air Force. They deny everything, just for you see how deep his Fatima is. When it's done, I just stand up and say, "Look, I want to just ask you a fast question. What about Fatima?" The guy, it's a general. He said, "We don't talk about that," and that's it. You can see how deep this thing Fatima is in still, for in Portugal in the world because of the Pope, you know.
Well, since you kind of mentioned it a little bit there, let me explain to you that in the write-up that you sent me, you mentioned the numbers
Yeah,
135917.
road, yes. Because the
And
people,
it seemed to me that you didn't fully understand what they meant. Or you told me that in your write-up that you had found that it means something about a star cluster or a star. It's an astronomical number for that particular
okay,
star.
okay.
Uh,
2010, I was invited go twice in the talking shows on TV in Portugal because now we have a lot of channels, not like behind, and you have a lady, the name Fina D'Armada, and it's a teacher in the college. She passed away a couple of years ago. Uh, with another teacher, history teacher, is Joaquim Fernandez, and the government, 1977, they pay for them for making investigations about Fatima, what real happened in Fatima, 1917, and not just the government, but the religion, the church, they don't like the results, and what they did, they just treat them if they talk anything about what they discover, they're gonna be lost his jobs. And Fina D'Armada, she's that woman doesn't. I once tell to the people what I learned and what I did, and the government, the Portuguese government, take her from the teacher from college, and they go be in the sixth and seventh degree teacher. They keep. She told me that she keep the same paycheck, but not college anymore. Now you just go teach a kid six and seven, and you go be like that forever. You know, she told me that just for you see it's not too funny touch in the Fatima.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said, okay. And she called me and said, oh, look, I saw you on TV, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, we have with Joaquin Fernandez investigations about this number, and I even doesn't listen at that number, 135917. And we try make everything and we can figure out what is this. Maybe you can do. Just try. That is when they said everything start with that number. After that, just after that number coming for three different people, so that number they come that miracle, May 3rd in 1907 to the three kids, uh, Lady of Fatima. But everything started with that number. What they did is the church for try explain to the people, they break the number 13, 1 3 for the day, 5 for the months, 917 for the year. What? And this is why May 3rd, it's a real special. And I said, okay, I'll try, see what I can do. And the first thing I know, all the temples, plays, uh, secret plays, and all kinds that have a relation with the sky, with the gods. This number there must be the same. But in that time, when I called with with Fina D'Armada, with the lady, I start see something is wrong with my cell phone already. I know somebody listening already because we, and I be looking, and one day I was in the Google, and I just remember, wait, let's go take 135917 and call a number for a star and see what the Google will say. And the Google just go through inside deep of the space and find that star. I say, well, I can call Finn and tell, look, I think I found the secret number, and this is just a number from a star. What maybe the star where that beings come from, and the star that thing in Fatima. And I send just a mail, and she doesn't understand because I'm gonna send like a code. But it's that kind of code that just I know because I know what I'm doing. Not she does know. And what I did is I tried found out if in 1970 if the year in our planet we discovered already that star, and we did 1876. We did 1877, something like that, the year when they discovered that star. And I say, if I got more information, I have just one place I can send a mail. And this is real surprised me is I send the mail to the NASA, NASA, the NASA. And I never thought they're gonna give me an answer. Especially from mail from Portugal. They take me less than 24 hours. I got a three different places from the NASA with all the information from that star. What surprised me, why this and this happened, and I just sent everything to the Fina D'Armada, and after that, it's funny we every time we be called until for about 1 2 years. When I talk with her, I know somebody listening, and we have another thing is one day they have two reporters. They want talking. They want ask me some stuff about the UFOs and about my book. And we take that interview about an hour half. After that, we start talking about Fatima. And I said, look, I go tell you something about Fatima, but they go be off record. You guys must promise. This is not for me, but it's for you guys. You must, this is real danger.
Well, I
And
understand. And to be honest with you, we did a report on some information that the Vatican had, and we wound up being followed now on our personal space by several agencies of the Vatican
yeah,
and several dioceses. So we're being watched. You're correct. Now,
yeah, yeah.
when I went to Gemini and I entered the numbers 1 3, let's see, what did I do? I entered the numbers that you had given me, and
One, three,
it
five,
told
nine, one,
me,
seven.
yeah, the 135917, and it refers to it being the actual file number in the Vatican for the sun miracle
Yeah, the
at
sun.
Fatima.
Yeah, in October. Yeah, in
Yeah.
October. Yeah, yeah,
And the breakdown of that is the number is connotation, a concatenation of the day, the year, and the vessel. It's similar to a file numbers that we assign our files. The 13th day of the month, the apparitions occurred May through October, so that's the 5 through 9,
yeah. They
because it
just missed in
spans the
June.
months of
They,
May through September. And the
Mhm.
year was 1917, so the
Yeah.
last two numbers are for the year.
Yeah,
Now
but
then,
I have a little problem with that with some teachers in the college, guys. They mail me read bad mails, and they call me anything. They can't come in them mind, and but because they said, look, 135 917, they can be anything in the space. I said,
yeah.
okay. I'm not saying I'm right. I just give you one other theory. It's not that doesn't mean and they said, yeah, but this doesn't make sense because what there was is 1 3 day and the 5 it's the month and 917 it's the year. And I wrote another mail to them and said, look, you can be a teacher from the college, but you are real about math, you are really stupid.
Yeah.
Because if it was the date 135917, we talk about 1,000 years ago because it's supposed 1351 917. You guys missing 1,000 years different. This is nothing about dates. This is a code. Wherever the code come from, but this is a code. You know.
Well, that's what Jim and I told me. It was the code, and the code goes to a secret Vatican circle as the Fatima Codex or the
Yeah.
Secret of Fatima Code.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why I started looking more into the sun miracle of Fatima and what it was. And apparently, I had to dig deeper to find the third secret. And apparently, the Pope, and I forget which Pope it was, but supposedly something was supposed to happen in 1960. A secret was going to be revealed, or the third secret was supposed to be
Yeah. I
revealed.
think there was John Paul because he
John
got a
Paul
shot
II.
in Fatima. He got a shot in Fatima too. I think it's John Paul. But they come the third secret of Fatima, but there's all lies. This is not the real thing. What there was is for the church take more time for the people still believing because that thing it's make a lot of money. It's one
Yep.
for the church. And and they don't want. I said they don't want to lose that gold thing, over there, and a thousand people go, oh, But you know, but the real happened is there was in October 13 October because this is when they saw that one light fly around that people, and there was around 1,000, 100,000 people saw that light, that night. And and the funny thing is, some people describe they saw a metal uh, uh, object, and they saw three figures inside the that you can call UFO, and they say like that, bye bye to the people. Well, the church said there was Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. This was the church at the answer. We talk about 1917. I,
Yeah.
I believe this time there was real different. But
Well,
they
I'm
still.
kind of curious about it because I don't know that Richard or and actually Jarrell there is a pastor and he just did a Easter service this evening here at the house. So we were very much into that. But what this Fatima thing is about, Jarrell, is that part of the secret is that a pope will be an adversary for the devil, for Satan himself.
They can say anything they want. But
Yeah.
but one thing is, we have. I think there must be the UFO more witness in all the time, because we talk about
Yes.
100,000 people. We have a picture. I even have a copies of the picture in my house from. And the funny thing, what the Fina D'Armada said, there was not one sun, they call sun that time, just go around and be flying. There was two suns. Even the church doesn't talk about that. There was two different suns. They just and they said that light they go fly in the above of the people. They never go be the sun. And the thing is, the power girl, they just appear with her for a while. They want the witness the school. I forget the name of the that girl, because they have three kids. So the lady of Fatima and two die, and they have just one Lourdes. The that girl, the name Lourdes, and the churches grab her, and they and she living for all his life in the monastery and something in Spain, because they don't want they talking. But Fina D'Armada and Joaquim Fernandez, 1977, they can catch some people was alive at that time, and they have the interview that people and what they said about the angels they saw and all that kind. I have that thing. Matter of fact, I have the my book in Instagram. It's free. You just can get it. Anybody can get go in my Instagram. It's dc.alves, and you can get. And I have a lot of witness over. I wrote the Fina Armada give me all that witness
Mm.
they talk, they still real strange. But I tell you something, because if you go to Fatima place, it, even if it doesn't matter if you believe or not in religion stuff, you feeling how strong spirit. It's that area. It's real strong, and the Crusades, the Crusades,
Yes.
they start again because for a while, the Pope won't kill all the Crusades because they start have a lot of power. This is we
Yes.
talk about King
The
time,
Knights Templar.
yeah,
Yes.
and they can start again. The Crusade that was in Tomar in Portugal, and this is about 5 kilometers from Fatima. And another funny thing, the people ask why Fatima. What did they try? That means tried that it's they make together two different religions, Islam and the Catholic religion, because Fatima is the same name of the daughter of Mahomet, you know, and I think they tried to like a peace, and we are in the first war too, first war, uh,
Hmm.
and if one day you can go, it's real, it's nice. That doesn't matter if you believe or not, but it's a real nice, quiet place over there.
Hmm. Well, is your book available for purchase?
Yeah, yeah. If you go into my Instagram, and you can take free, or you can buy in Amazon. But I have the in my Instagram for anybody. Just read, because what I feel is everything was happening in my life, and from the beginning of the first light I saw, and I started write the book. I think this is not fair. I charge people for reading that book because if you're not forever was, I never have that book, and they give me all the information free, and I want to give the people the same, because I don't want to make money about that, and I want
Yeah.
people reading and understanding. Because the most that book, they have a lot of questions, and the people reading and thinking, is there was like this or not, you know? Because, like I said, I have a lot of close encounters in all my life, things, real strange things, lights come through the walls, and there's a lot of different things.
Well, those are orbs that come
Yeah,
through the walls. Yep. Yep.
that,
Those are real orbs.
yeah, it was. Well, um I can't tell the story. I was in the bedroom for go sleep, and I turned the light off. And that moment when I go to sleep, I saw a light, a small light, real small light, red light, go through the wall and stop under the window. And in that moment, just sit down at the bed and look at that light. And after a while, seconds, they come another one, stop next that one. And after second, they come another one, three lights. And I'm just looking, and they start move parallel, like they be connect with all three. They start move from my side around to the bed to the left side. And I just look at that thing. And that moment, they go up, down, and up again, and they stop in the same level way they start. They start run again to just fly around the bed, and they stop where they come from. And I just look at that. Everything is dark, and that thing is so small. They even doesn't bright the room. It's just that thing, that red thing. And when they stop in the same place where they come from, they just go through the wall, all three together, and everything come normal. I stand up, I turn the light on, just look around, nothing happened, turn off, and just go sleeping. And because so when you be usual see things, okay, it's one more thing, okay, just sleeping. And I look, I have almost 61 years old, and I start with what, 11, 12, 13, see things, in my life. I see so many things.
I'm 80.
We said, because we talked about the regressions,
Mhm.
he said, I don't know if I can tell you about that. uh there was 2019 was the COVID time. And before, okay, this is a big, I don't know if you know Dr. Gilda Moura. She's a
Who?
Gilda Moura. She's a Brazilian lady. She was worked with John Mack a long time ago, and she's real famous. She's real famous.
Okay.
Uh, and I met her, and this is a story, a strange story. When you don't remember anything, but something happened, and I call unlock the memory, but there must be
Deja
like
vu?
excuse me.
Is it like deja vu?
Not, it's not real deja vu. It's just something come. You see something, and or you're listening something, and they come unlock your memory, and you start remember things. You know that thing that must be real, but when this happened, why it happened, you don't understand. And one day in Portugal, we have the APO, the Portuguese Association, and the president called me, and they have a meeting every last Saturday of the month, except August, because in Portugal everything stopped in August for vacation, except that one. And he called, and the president called me, Luis Aparicio, and said, and look, you want to come to the meeting tonight, Saturday night? I said, why? Oh, yeah, with Dr. Gilda Moura. She come from Brazil. She is here, blah, blah. And they talk about you, and she want to know you, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. I said, okay, I go try. Before I go in the meeting, I must make almost 100 miles for being that. And he said, and we will talk about adoptees. I said, okay, I'll be there, and I go with my ex-wife. And that time the my daughter have about 2 years old or less than that, you know. Because I have two things to tell you about Dr. Gilda Moura.
Okay.
This must be 2009. Uh, and I got just the duration 2009, 10 years after. Well, I go in the meeting, I'm sitting down, they have a lot of people because there was Dr. Gilda Moura and the famous blah blah. Okay, she start talking about adoptees and all that. This is where I met Dr.
Mhm.
Gilda. And they have a break time between nine. They start 7 p.m. until midnight, a little depend. Oh, we will start talking, depend. But always after midnight, you know. And I have the break time is like 9:30, something like that. 9:30, something like that. And that break time, when I was walk with my ex-wife outside, and Dr. Gilda talked with somebody else, and I got an unlocked memory, and I never forget. And I'm pretty sure that things must be happen, you know. And this is like we have, sometimes we must have regression for start remember things, you know.
Mhm.
Well, I remember that moment I was walking in corridor inside the ship. This is just a memory. This is nothing. Yeah, I can't
Okay.
tell where that thing happened. No, that thing came in my memory. And one thing is true. I never forget that. And if I tell this today, I tell about a week, a year, there was the same story because that thing still in my mind, that memory. What is not normal, we start forget things with the years past. And what I saw, I was in the corridor and I was walking and I don't see them, but I feeling behind me, they have that two tall grays with me. When I will walk with them, we passed one open door with empty room in my right side. We passed one in the one of the walls have looks like a window, all black.
Mhm.
We passed that one. We passed the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. I was walk the, and I look inside that. I think there was empty room too. No, they have a child's all kind age until maybe 18, 19 years old, all childs. Till
Mhm.
they have two child. I never forget that one because they play with the cubes, you know. And when I stop and look, all the child look at me, you know. They they have no shoes. The floor, I remember that the floor is like gray, the blue, too light blue, gray, and they have that window like the other ones in the back of the child. I remember the looks like the old one. Even they have the yellow hair, real yellow. That looks like that kid. That was the old ones, and all them they have like a dress, like the druids use like a robe,
Yes. Yeah.
all
Robes.
white,
Yeah.
you know, and all they stand look at me, and I remember I look at the girl. They looks like a Native American, and she look at me. They must be around between 8, 10 years old, and I look at her, and after that I start walking again, and that's it. It's over. I don't remember anything more, you know. But when I drive back from the meeting, I start thinking. When I look at that girl between 8, 10 years old, I look her eyes to eyes. I don't look down or above her, you know. That means I must be, if this thing happened, I can tell if they happen or not. I must be at that around that age too, because if I was tall, I will see the girl from above, you know.
Mhm.
And like I said, I don't know if this thing happened. I just said that they have an unlock, and this thing happened here 2020, 24 here in the United States. I watched a movie and they have another unlock too. And I, and it's funny because this is like that. I was living German from 1 month old until 10 years old. I was living German. And sometime I was sick. I was in the hospital for sometimes for 1 month in the hospital, and uh, and I ever remember my father walked with me, in the parking with a lot of trees, and all these years until 2000, the couple 2023, yeah. Uh, I asked to my family what I was sick in that age because my father take me walking in the parking, and because I work in the hospital in the cardiology area for 25 years, and that moment I was, the thing is, there must be some problem with the lungs, and nobody remember because almost all my family was immigration in the German in 16, 17, and my father doesn't remember walking with me. My mother doesn't remember that. My mother remember a lot of things. I was almost died for 3 times already. Matter of fact, one time I have the priest already tell all that story for I'm gone, and am I still here? And and there was a confusion for me. And one day I was here 2 years ago, and I watched a movie, a Tom Hanks movie. All I remember is I was walk with my father, and anybody in the family remember that. It was strange. And I asked my father, he doesn't remember anything. And I have that feeling there was not just one time; it's more than one time. I said, okay, just me here. When I watched that movie from the Tom Hanks movie, it's a movie about mafia. He was work for mafia, something like that. And that moment, they have something in the movie. The camera, the guy will look at the mirror, and the camera is in the back, and he turn, and the camera is right in the face. And that moment, I got another unlock. This next step for what I remember when I walked with my father, and this scared me because that was not my father. This, in that moment, I understand why nobody remember nothing. What I saw, there was a real different story. And because we have 8 hours from California to Portugal, different. And I remember I wait for be 1 o'clock in the morning for be 9 over there. Before I call my mother, I want to make some questions, and I know the answers already, but just make sure. Well, there was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I called. There was 9 over there, and I asked my mother if my father, the type of clothes they use when he go walk with me, and she denied everything, even the style of the ad, you know.
Mhm.
She denied every. I know she go be denied because it's not. We have in Portuguese not now too much, but before they have a special thing for ad. The Portuguese use the Italians and Spanish. And I said okay, and my mother all my life denied everything because they don't. It's a just 1,000 people. Everybody know everybody. This start with that kind of things with
Yes.
kid. And she denied every until a year ago. She started told me I saw lights. She told me, look, I never told you, but I saw that lights. Your aunt and your uncle said, and your grandmother, I saw that lights too a couple times. I never told you that. I said, look, you needed wait for I got a 16 years old for you to tell me that. I said,
Mhm.
well, I don't want start talking about that stuff.
Mhm.
Well, what I saw, this when I saw that Tom Hanks movie, it's when I was walk with that, I think was my father. I try run away, and he just grabbed me, not in the hand, just grab right here. And when I try and run, he pulled me, and
Mhm.
he turned. When he turned, I saw an old man. His face, all the skin, it looks like the skin is more bigger than the face.
Mhm.
The eyes is real black, you know, and the guy is real mad because I want to try to run away, and that's it. I don't remember any. Hello, you listen me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh, and that's it. I just remember that. It's just. told about another unlock memory. Okay, let's go back to my hypnotic regression. I asked Dr. Gilda if she can do that for me, and she said, okay. And I got a lot of surprise because come with the regression because all my time I have a scare about snakes. Everything is about reptilians. I have a scare, but a lot of people have a scare. And what I think is maybe I'm scared because something happened with that kind race reptilians.
mm,
But the things doesn't come like that. What that come in my regression is, I think I sent you the regression for you. I think I did. It's I saw on the table, when down on the table, and I look. I remember I saw a window, all dark, and a big light, some light, yellow light in the top, and I saw the two tall ones a little far away, and two small, the gray ones, and two small gray ones next to me. And in the time when I was in the duration, and I tell to Gilda, sometimes the small ones come with his face too real close to my face. And when I wake up and I ask her why they do that, and she said, because I was in the stress, and when they come, the face close mine, I relax, they make me relax.
mm,
And that moment when that too small one is next, and the too tall one is a little far away, and I have my legs open and I have a yellow light between my legs,
mm,
you know, and I can move, and they come another being. And what I feel when that being come inside, it was like the boss, because everybody, the tall ones back up, the small ones back up,
mm,
and that being come next to me. And like I said, they use that like the druid stuff. That there was that kind close, and there was the insectoid type, and he just look at me, look at the tall ones, and just turn and just go, just back, and just go away. After that, the Grecians they come. I was already back on the road, and this end of the Grecian,
mm,
that's the Grecian I did. And from that one, I always think there was the reptilians that got the Abductee, but not. And they have another story about the insectoids. My ex-girlfriend, she's that kind of woman. She doesn't care. Say UFOs or not UFOs. She has her life, and this is if you talk about reptilians, she even doesn't know what, because she doesn't care. And one day, she come to my house, and she made the lunch, and we was in the kitchen, and she stand in the kitchen, and I grab the plates, and when I look at her, she has big eyes look at me, real like afraid, and I tell her what's happened, and she keep for seconds doesn't answer, and I say, look what's happened. I say, oh, forget, it's nothing, let's go eat, it's nothing. But we eat, and after we eat, she said, okay, let's go to the sofa, and I want to talk about what I saw. And I said, okay, when I look at you, I don't see you. I see like a bug or something like that. That's why I look at you. Let's go see. That is the woman. It doesn't care about UFOs, about nothing. Yeah, she has
yeah,
her business. It doesn't care about that. Even does know nothing about reptilians or something. I say, I mean, yeah, I look at you and I don't see you. I see a bug. And we was at the sofa. I said, okay, we go to Google. I want to show her pictures from different aliens, you know. And when they come the insectoid type, she said, look, they looks like this. This is important because I believe maybe she never saw any pictures about the insectoids in her life.
mm,
Okay, well, they passed about, I don't know, months. One day we was in the bed, and she started look at me again with the big eyes, and she just stand up from the bed. She got the clothes and she walked to the kitchen. But when she got the clothes, and I said, "Well, what's happened?" "Oh, nothing. I'm not feel well. I'm just not feel well. I'll go to the kitchen." And she walked at the kitchen, and I stand up. I go behind her. You see, because she was sick. She got cancer, and maybe it was because that. And she said, "No, you know what's happening? Remember we talked about that time in the kitchen? I saw a bug." He said, "I look at you." I say, "Yeah, that thing happened again right now." But it was different, she said. "I saw that big eyes next to me, and they told me that that thing told her, leave this guy alone." Well, in Portuguese, it's different words, but it's like,
Yeah.
leave this guy alone. And she said the message was so deep. She said, "It looks like a knife go through my eyes to my brain, how deep, and I'm scared." That thing. That is that they were so close. We are in the bed together. They were, and well, when we talk about that, and this thing happened about the insect or two, I never can explain anything to her what's really happened, because I don't know. I can't understand why she saw that, but she did that for twice. You know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. In the Oh, I be with her when I was in the February. We got dinner and we talk about that moment. So she remember very well that thing happened.
Mhm. Well, we've been talking for a little over an hour and 15 minutes. Are there any other stories you want to depart to us or uh,
Well, I have a story. I have a lot of stories if you go down, but that was all my life.
okay.
You know, I, like dreams. When I see that light, I think I forgot to tell you that it's the dreams. I have a dream, and the dream comes to happen. I tell my friends, look, but that's it's that kind of dreams doesn't make any sense. Sometimes it's score about the soccer games or something. It's nothing any different. But the,
Yeah.
the truth is, I tell them it's this, and that things will happen. And another story can tell it's about my daughter. My daughter Star, she has a special gift. She thinks, but we talk with her. She don't want. She has 19 years old now,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
don't want to be
Yeah.
talking about all that stuff.
Sure.
But one day she was in the bedroom and she saw a shadow in the bedroom, and she said she was real, more than 2 meters tall. She
Mhm.
looked at me with the red eyes, just the red eyes. Everything it's like a shadow. And I asked her, but she take a while before she told me that story. She told first the mother was divorced. We got divorced already when this happened, and after that she told me that. And I said, look, and what what's happened after? And say, okay, let's go talk with my mother, and we'll go talk all three together. Matter of fact, uh, he talked a lot with Dr. Gilda Moura. She said a lot of stuff. I asked, and Dr. Gilda Moura said, no, this is just between us, and you know. But that night in the morning, she has a mark here, three different W's here. She has that mark, you know. And after a couple months, she wants to go walk to the east bedroom. She starts to see a fly, like she called a diamonds, fly around her, and she said she feel real peace when they see all that. What I believing about my daughter, it's not just about UFOs, it's about spirit stuff too,
Sure. Sure.
because
Yeah. She's psychic.
you know she, it's funny because she don't want to talk about more things, but one thing is she already tell for five people she will be die pretty soon, and they did, and they did, they died.
Mhm.
And we talk about grandparents and aunts, the family. One day I was with a cousin and my sister and her and my niece. We have a dinner time, and they come an uncle mine, and they start talking with her. And when they left, and I go with, okay, this happened Saturday. And Sunday, I go take my daughter to his her mother. And when we start drive in the same road, right? So that missing time, 4th March 1986, my daughter turned to me. She did for three people before.
Mhm.
And she said, Dad, I never go see my uncle again. I said, okay, this is Sunday. And that man, I think he have 65 years old, something like that, or
Mhm.
17. So well, it's not that kind of man to say that guy will be die pretty soon.
Mhm.
Uh, and I asked her, why? I, I just know. And I don't want to go talk more because she got all three already, especially the grandparents. And next Tuesday, I got a call 4 o'clock in the morning. My uncle was there, you know, and she has that kind special gift, but
Yeah.
and I remember one night I was with her in that dolmen, where that I told you about the stones and one in the top, and this is in Portugal. And she like go over there, and we go at night, and we look at the stars and stay over there because it's real quiet. It's in the middle of nowhere, you just see
Mhm.
cows and anything more. And my son, he was here already, California. He called me, and usually when I got the cell phone, I was walking around and talking, and I'm not stay, and I was walking, and my daughter was close, but it's all close to the dome. And
Mhm.
after I'm finished call, my daughter turned to me and said, "Look, Dad, I want to go leaving. I don't want to stay here anymore." I said, "Well, okay." But I feel something strange because she like go over there. And I said,
Mhm.
"Okay, you want to go? We go. We go. We walk it till the car and just start drive." Almost when I got home, she said, "Can you pull over? Because I want to tell you something." I said, "Okay." And she said, "You know why? I want to go right away from that place because when you talk with my brother on the phone, I was standing right in the front of the entrance of the dome, and I saw a small light right in the middle of the dead dome, and they start open, open, open. All that inside was a light. And I was confused, and I look at back because I think there was some car or something, what is impossible. That is a ranch. You have just one road, you have no roads in that side. And there was nothing. And when I look again, that thing is like uh from it's all yellow inside and just disappear. Eh,
Mhm.
and then when and I was just scared and just wait for you and the call for I tell you I want leaving. And from that night, she never want to go back at night in that place. She's real scared about what's happened, you know. And and that is a special place because I saw things too over there, and as I got a lot of time, like I said in the beginner, calls going that place, walking or by bicycle, because that is about less than 2 miles from my house,
Yeah.
and they have one of the things real funny happened that there was my first book. Well, it's the same but in Portuguese. They come out in the October 2nd, 2010, and I say one day I go in that place, and try contact with them, you know, uh, talk about the book. It's done. And this 9 days, 11 October 2010, 9 days after I go to that place, I was just go above. of that sit down. And this is one of the amazing things happening in my life. I'm just putting the book in the top of the dome and ask now, after start with 11, 12 years old until now, all my life with this,
Mm.
and what I'm doing. And they come, I got a two message, like a telepathy message. They don't take a while, a couple seconds, I got the answer. You know, I gotta tell you that because the things happen after, and the first they come a name, and the name of a guy. I said, I think for myself, what this guy means, that even doesn't like that kind of things, UFOs or stuff. Uh, doesn't make any sense. The truth is, this happened 2010, 7 years after 2017. I got a divorce, and this guy got divorced, and I started date his wife, his ex-wife in this case.
Mm.
You know, I know this what's the matter for, but it doesn't make any sense because who cares about that? This is nothing about
Yeah.
UFO, but it
Yeah.
is because it's they send me some message, and I believe in if they send me by the name, even that I even doesn't never think about there was that woman. After that they sent me another message. They
Okay.
said the book they will be touched in the four corners of the wall. Okay, like a human being, what you go thinking is, well, they go maybe a bestseller, something like that. But it was not that. You know what is? It's right the same way we're doing now.
Mm.
After all this time, this happened 2010.
Yeah.
Right now, the book with the internet, podcast, and all that, they touch in the four corners of the earth.
Sure.
Everybody can see. You understand? Now you have another theory. They said I go met somebody real famous. It's a singer, and you for some reason you go met this guy. I remember. I think I think
Mm.
this is totally impossible. It's a famous guy, famous singer in the world. It's totally
Mm.
impossible. I go met this guy. And I got that answer again. I say, no, one day you go met this guy. Well, the truth is, until today, I never met the guy personal. But I have I have that feeling. I have some relation with him, something he must know or I know, about this guy. But
Yeah.
like I told that day, uh, 15 years ago, 17 years ago, uh, I'm still, it's almost, nothing is impossible, of course, but
Sure.
uh, it's almost impossible. It's because it's a real famous guy.
Okay. I'd like to have you on another time and follow up on this when you have more details. Let me know,
Yeah.
when you
Okay.
meet the guy and let us know how it
Yeah.
comes
Oh,
out.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Because that three things to happen, and I believe in, I will one day, even just say I, and that's it. But the funny things, I know the guy, the singer, because everybody know this guy, and after that I go to the Google. And the real for strangers, the guy is interested about UFOs. And I just figured out that after that day,
Okay.
you know. But maybe one day, we never know.
Okay. Well, I hope that it happens, and I hope you'll let us know.
Oh, yeah, 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 I
Okay.
will.
Okay, Antonio, I enjoyed tonight's talk very much. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the story that you told, and I want to thank you for sharing it with us.
Oh, welcome.
Uh, Jarrell, Danny, Richard, anybody have any questions you want to ask you?
Well, sure. I'll ask one.
Okay.
In all the light phenomena that you observed, uh, were the was every observance of the light were the lights stationary or did they move around?
No, no, no. I have that one, the cylinder. They move. Uh, and when I saw lights, five lights, there was not lights, it's a sphere. They
Okay.
moved to that. All the one that was stay is the. I thought there was the first time, but not. But it's that light I saw with my friend Alexander. It's well, I saw that move in orange when they changed the color, and then we figured out it was the same, the same light. There was just that one that was stay over there.
Well, did
Even
they
even
ever?
even even that ones where I missing time in the 1986. I don't see them move, but they appear and appear for another part of the another side of the road, But I don't see them move, It appears, I'm sorry, disappear and appear another side, just like dancing on the road.
Okay, so they never sped off in one direction.
No,
Uh,
no, I never
that,
saw that. I never saw that. I know I have a lot of people talk about that, the real fast, disappear real fast. I never I never saw that, you know.
and from what you observed, could you see if it was some kind of craft or ship, or was it just pure light?
Well, the the one that was the cylinder, that looks like it's some craft, because you
Mm-hmm.
can see where the end, the light, it's right perfect, like a pen or pencil, you can see the how they did it. But another ones, it's just the lights,
Okay,
Uh,
so you saw different.
because
Yeah.
I even can tell you, the first time the light, the white, if it's triangle, rectangle, well, I know it's a circle light, this
Hmm.
light I saw, and when they move, when I saw with my friend, there was still a circle, it's like a ball move, no sounds, and it's orange, and they change for orange.
And different colors. Oh, yeah, okay. That's
No,
what I was.
I have one thing I don't tell. It's about one night I saw in the top of the warehouse I have in Portugal a circle ball too, and it's real beautiful. There was F orange, F yellow in the middle. They make a mix, but the colors never, the orange never go to the yellow, and the yellow never go to the orange. Where they touch, they make a mix. When you have a white paint and you put blue or red and you make the mix, and this there was the same. There was real beautiful that when I saw that, but it's the same. I stand over there, look, and after a while, I don't know, a minute, a half minute, I don't know, it disappeared, and that's it. I never saw nothing like people said they just run real fast. I never saw that in my life.
Mhm. So, what did you think those lights were?
You know, what things happen after, especially the first light, the I was a kid, I care about play soccer and we play with my friends, and they change. And I started interested about religions, about ancient civilizations, about all kind things doesn't make any sense for a child, and special. I start see. Well, in my life, I saw insectoids. I don't know if there was just Men in Black or not, and shadows, tall grays, small grays. Well, I must figure out I be in the world of the UFO world, with all that things happen to me, and this is not the real I asked for happen, but this happened. And like I said, all my family back, I have a background with my family, so that stuff's happened. That stuff. So lights come from the walls, from the ceiling. I have aunt and uncles. They told me all that stories. You know, my father said they ever missing some. He was a kid, and he worked. He started work with 10 years old, and they saw the ship stop, does move, and they say like a cylinder shape. I'm sorry, a sphere. shape next to the ship, you know. And all my life, he looks like my family too, you know. I don't know my grandmother, or I don't that I don't I don't know, and the another problem is when they talk with my mother. I never talk to my grandmother because I even does know that this is my aunt and my uncle, and my mother told me. Uh, they come to the religion, there was the devil or the angels or something like that. They never use the word, sorry, uh, aliens or something like that.
Jarrell?
No questions.
Okay. All right, Antonio, we appreciate you visiting with us and telling us your
Thank you.
story. We hope to have a follow-up with you at a future time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good night.
Can I just
Go ahead.
ask, this thing coming to YouTube for I tell for my friends or not?
Do what?
This interview, they come in the YouTube or another?
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah. It'll be later this week. I'll review it and, see if there's
Okay.
anything we need to cut out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just for telephone.
Yeah. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Very
Have a
good.
nice week.
Thank you, Antonio.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to include a link to Antonio's book in the comments below and in the description so that you can go straight to Amazon.com and order his book. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and leave comments. Let us know how you liked it, what you liked about it, what you didn't. And if you have any suggestions for any future videos, please let us know. Sometimes it gets a little tough coming up with new ideas. Thank you.